Which celebrities ruined their career in a split second, and how did they manage to do it? Mel Gibson did a great job, but surprisingly he's putting it back together. He's putting it back together. Probably because he's legitimately talented. He's also been keeping a fairly low personal profile the last few years. Lindsay Lohan. When she thought I should try cocaine. Does anyone remember Zoe 101, Jamie Lynn Spears? Sometimes I Google her to see WTF is up. She's a county songwriter now and I think she's won some awards. Seems to have a pretty decent career. Edit. This is my highest ranked comment ever. And I have no idea why. Also fixed misspelling. Edit 2. Unfixed misspelling. Now I know why. Megan Fox made one offhand comment about how working for Michael Bay was like working for Hitler, and Steven Spielberg advised Michael Bay to cut her from the Transformers franchise because it offended him so much. Ines in the morning calling a female basketball team nappy-headed hose. I've heard it a bunch of times and every time I thought, well, that probably wasn't the best thing. Ray Rice, domestic violence video realizing. Charlie Sheen, winning. Michael Richards, Kramer, with cocaine and the word. Ashley Simpson's SNL fiasco. Getting caught lip syncing was bad enough, but the awkward shuffle afterwards really sealed her fate. Is Ryan Lochte here yet? Mark Salling. Made it through a sexual assault settlement. But kiddie PRN is a no-no. Scariest part is the demographic his show, Glee, aimed towards. Rob Lowe had a sex scandal after being filmed having sex with a 16-year-old girl at the Democratic National Convention in 1988. He spent the next few years in smaller roles rebuilding his career. And at his celebrity roast, he noted that not only was he better looking than everyone, but that he had been married to the same woman for more than 25 years and had been sober throughout. So I think he has managed to save himself from himself. I'm going to go old school here and say Fatty Arbuckle. Though the fault largely lies with the media rather than his own doing. Arbuckle was one of the most popular and highest paid silent movie actors of the 1910s. But after he and some friends hosted a drinking party at a San Francisco hotel, a woman who attended fell ill and died a few days later. A friend claimed that Arbuckle had ARP'd her, despite there being no evidence to support it. The media ran with the story, first claiming that the actor's size caused traumatic injuries to the young woman, then saying he had violated her with a champagne bottle. Arbuckle was tried for rape and manslaughter 3 times. The first 2 resulting in mistrials before he was finally acquitted in the 3rd. But the damage was done. His reputation was shattered. Not only was his career ruined, many of his older films were banned and or destroyed. It's a fascinating and sad story, generally considered the first true Hollywood scandal. Aaron Hernandez. He was a tight end for the New England Patriots. In 2013, at the age of 23, he killed a man and is now serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. Jerry Lee Lewis, when he married his 13-year-old cousin and went from being an international rock star to an outcast. However, he did revive his career when he went back to his country roots. When he married his 13-year-old cousin. Went back to his country roots. The opposite answer of this is David Letterman. He cheated on his wife and announced it on his show. Mike Myers when Love Guru came out. I miss him. Gwyneth Paltrow plugged an expensive handbag on her website and pissed off soccer moms everywhere. Didn't she also try to eat for 3 days on what she thought was a super low amount of money and was caught the first or second day eating at a very expensive high-end restaurant? All I've heard about her from Reddit is she's always lead a very luxurious life and doesn't comprehend that others don't. Chris Benoit killed his family and committed suicide over a weekend, destroying his entire history in WWE wrestling. Would still like to know what happened those few hours. Cat Williams tried to fight a 12-year-old and got his ass beat. Jennifer Grey hit stardom in the mid-late 80s with Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Dirty Dancing. Then had plastic surgery that left her unrecognizable. And barely got any roles ever since. Nobody puts baby in the corner. But a botched nose job will. The nose job was actually done well. Too well. She looks too generic now and can't get work. Nose job was not botched. She actually looked great and that was the problem. Her aquiline F-King Hawksby cover nose was iconic. Without it, nobody recognized her. Her career quietly shat itself and died. Azealia Banks and her feud with Zayn. It scared off the little remaining fanbase she had after years of pointless Twitter drama. Now she live streams cooking recipes on Facebook. What a waste of talent. She tweeted herself out of a career. I hope she gets the help she clearly needs. Bob Parsons, founder of GoDaddy. He was rolling in the riches until his vacation video surfaced where he is seen standing next to an endangered elephant which he had shot and killed. The video then switches to a clip of about 30-40 African villagers pulling apart and eating said elephant raw. Now, it wouldn't have been so bad if the villagers hadn't all been wearing bright orange GoDaddy hats. Talk about a PR nightmare. The original video is still on YouTube somewhere. Edit. That time beloved Heisman winner NFL legend comedic actor O.J. Simpson committed that double homicide. Allegedly. And then, despite his complete innocence, wrote a book on how, if he had committed double homicide. Gary Glitter. For that split second click on the icon by the technician when the computer he sent in for repair opened up all his kiddie PRN. Years ago I worked with a guy who was friends with a guy who found that stuff on Gary's computer. The guy who found it was only late teens early 20s and had to receive counseling as a result of seeing those images. I don't want to know. But that must have been some very bad tea on there. The guy behind the whole Connie 2012 movement had a mental breakdown at the peak of its popularity. Really surprised no one's mentioned CeeLo Green. 1 minute. He's a beloved musician. The next. He tweets that it's not our pay if she's passed out. Dropped overnight. Done. Edit. Bro. I didn't think anyone would even see this. A few people have pointed out that I oversimplified a bit. You 2012 gave a better explanation. I feel like you missed a key point. Drugs a woman, has sex with her while she's passed out, is convicted of the above, then tweets that the conviction was unfair because she was unconscious so it doesn't count. Oscar Pistorius aka the Blade Runner. Shot and killed his girlfriend. Anthony Weiner. And what's even crazier is that he managed to do it more than once. Jared from Subway. Robin Thicke, while it started with grinding with Miley on the VMAs. His hand up the skirt of young woman while married to Paula Patton finished it. Blurred lines had set him up for it pretty well. The hand skirt thing was the straw that broke the camel's back. Pete Rose, caught betting on baseball while a player manager in the league including on his own team, was ruled ineligible for the Hall of Fame despite surefire Hall of Fame numbers. Has probably cost himself millions in potential earnings though he is now back as a Fox analyst 25 years later. Not really a single moment. More like the course of 2 movies. Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker. Edit. Course. I see what you did there. Rolf Harris. Rolf F. King Harris. You pained the Queen you scumbag. Glenn Hoddle, ex-England football manager, killed his career by saying that disabled people are disabled because they were horrible people in a past life. Can confirm. I'm a horrible person in this life too. I'm going for a hat trick. Christian Slater in the late 90s when he attacked his girlfriend and a cop while on drugs. He's starting to come back with the success of MR. Robot and his guest appearances on Archer. Bill Cosby. His actions weren't in a matter of a split second but once his past got out it sure did. Sinead O'Connor. For standing against child abuse and denouncing the church. Anyone mention Joe Paterno? His career was over and he dies soon after, but what a horrible last memory to have about you. David Icke when he proclaimed he was the son of God. The world was potentially going to end, but him wearing a turquoise tracksuit would prevent it, and that the royals are pedophile vampire lizard rapists. It was pretty spectacular, to be fair. Especially since it was all handled by the late Terry Wogan. Well, some of it was, who handled it like the champ he was.